Hello, my name is Fabian Degen. I am the owner of FMD Wealth Advisors. This is my podcast, Don't Screw Up Divorce. I'm a certified financial planner, chartered financial analyst, enrolled agent with the IRS, certified divorce financial analyst, and certified Quattro specialist. I help people that are going through major life transitions like divorce. I'm supporting my clients before, during, and after divorce, and I work with them nationwide. If you would like me to help you, click the link in the show description or visit fmdwealth.com to schedule a call with me. We are open for business. So this week's podcast is about high net worth divorces. Why hiring the right lawyer won't be enough to protect your wealth. If you have ever known someone who has gone through a high net worth divorce, you have probably heard them describe it as the most expensive thing they have ever done. And the truth is, the headline cost, so think about the attorney's fees, the forensic accountants, the court filing, is rarely the most expensive part. The most expensive part is what happens to the wealth plan that you and your spouse spent decades building. Most people walk into a divorce thinking of it as a legal problem. They focused almost entirely on hiring the right attorney. That makes sense because the law is what's directly in front of them. But for households with significant assets, divorce is at least as much a financial planning event as it is a legal one. The decision you make over the next several months will shape your cash flow, your tax exposure, and your retirement trajectory for the rest of your life. Treating divorce as a purely legal matter is one of the most common and costly mistakes high net worth individuals make. The legal team can win every motion in the case, and you can still walk out financially worse off than you needed to be. So let's talk about why high net worth divorces don't behave like the average one. In an average divorce, the financial picture is often relatively simple. 2 paychecks, 1 house, 1 or 2 retirement accounts, maybe a small amount of credit card debt. Even when emotions run high, the math is manageable. High net worth divorces are different in kind, not just in degree. The assets are more varied, the income is more variable, and the tax exposure on any given decision can run into 6 or 7 figures. There may be restricted stock units that vest on different schedules, deferred compensation, partnership interest, real estate in more than one state, premarital investment accounts that have been partially commingled, and a closely held business whose value depends on how a forensic accountant defines income. And the wealth itself changes the negotiating dynamic. According to reporting from CNBC, high earners are statistically more likely to divorce. And when they do, they have the financial firepower to stretch a case out. That makes timing and strategy matter far more than it would in a simpler case. So let's think about the decisions that will quietly shape the next 20 years of your life. When you are in the middle of a divorce, the decisions that feel the most urgent, like custody, schedule, the marital residence, the monthly support check, are usually not the ones that will move the needle on your long-term wealth. The decisions that matters most are typically the quietest ones. For example, how is your retirement account split? And what kind of tax basis are you using? Do you keep the house or take the equivalent value in investment assets? Do you accept a slightly lower monthly maintenance figure in exchange for a larger lump sum transfer of liquid assets? Each of those decisions has a present value answer and a long-term answer, and they are not always the same. A trade that looks like a wash today can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over 20 or 30-year time horizons once you factor in taxes, growth, and required distributions. This is the work a financial advisor, or better, a certified financial analyst, is able to do for you. A good attorney will get you a fair settlement under the law, but not necessarily the best financial outcome for your future. A good financial advisor will help you understand whether that settlement as structured, actually supports the life you want to live. Let's talk about the tax layer that quietly eats settlements. One of the most underappreciated dimensions of a high net worth divorce is the tax layer. Two settlements that look identically on paper can leave the two parties in a dramatically different financial position once taxes are factored in. Since the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, spousal maintenance is no longer deductible to the payer and no longer counted as taxable income to the recipient for any divorce finalized after the end of 2018. That single change reshaped how settlements should be structured. The same logic applies to retirement assets. $1 in a Roth IRA is not equivalent to $1 in a traditional 401k, and neither is equivalent to $1 of after-tax brokerage assets. Splitting accounts in equal nominal dollar amounts can quietly hand one spouse a significantly better deal. Capital gains exposure on the marital residence, cost basis on inherited or premarital securities, the timing of business interest transfers, and even the tax treatment of stock options all need to be examined together. None of this is the attorney's specialty. All of it should be part of the conversation before you sign. So now let's talk about the hidden costs nobody warns you about. Beyond the visible cost of a divorce, legal fees, forensic accountants, expert witnesses, court filings, there are several less visible costs that can quietly drain even a substantial settlement. The first is duplicated households overhead cost. Two homes cost more than one, and the gap is wider than most people expect. Property tax, insurance, utilities, maintenance, and staffing don't simply double when a couple separates. The combined total often grows by more than 50 to 70% in the short term, even before either party upgrades or downgrades a residence. The seconds are the lifestyle costs. Children that are used to a particular standard of living often expect that standard to continue. Private school tuition, summer programs, extracurricular, and family travel can be hard to scale back gracefully mid-divorce. And they tend to get baked into support agreements at peak levels. The third opportunity cost, time spent in a contested matter, is time not spent running a business, managing a career, or staying engaged with an investment portfolio. For business owners and senior executives, that opportunity costs can draft the legal fees. Let's talk why you should build your financial team before your legal one. Most people start by hiring an attorney and only think about a certified divorce financial analyst later, often months into the process. By then, several important decisions have already been made. If you can, the order should be reversed or at least run in parallel. A financial advisor can help you take inventory of the marital estate, model out support and asset division scenarios, and identify the issues you most want your attorney to fight for. That work is far more useful at the start of a case than at the end. Your attorney handles the law. Your certified divorce financial analyst or your financial advisor that is specialized in divorce handles your life after the law is done. The closer they coordinate, the better the outcome tends to be. So let's think about what winning really looks like. It is easy to define winning in a divorce by what the agreement says on the day it is signed. The bigger settlement, the more favorable custody arrangement, the lower maintenance check. Those are the things that show up on paper, but that is not really what winning looks like. Winning looks like being financially stable 5 years out, 10 years out. It looks like a retirement plan that still works. It looks like not having to renegotiate anything because the original agreement was built on assumptions that turned out to be wrong. And it looks like clarity. The clients who come out of divorce in the strongest positions are almost and always the ones who took the time to understand exactly what they were trading away and exactly what they were getting in return. The clarity is the entire point of bringing financial planning into the process from day one. So now, what is the mindset that protects your wealth? A high net worth divorce is one of the most consequential financial events of a person's life. It deserves to be treated that way, not as a legal problem to be survived, but as a financial event to be planned. If you're facing the possibility of divorce or are in the early stages of one, the most valuable thing you can do is slow down long enough to assemble the right team. The attorney is part of the team, so is the financial advisor. The best financial advisors are purely focused on divorce, and they have a certification that's called the Certified Divorce Financial Analyst designation. Also think about a forensic accountant and a tax professional. So the cost of building that team is almost always smaller compared to the cost of not building it. The wealth you protect is the wealth that funds the rest of your life. So now let's answer some questions that I get from my clients. So one of the questions is, when should I bring a certified divorce financial analyst into the divorce process? Well, my answer is as early as possible, really before you file or are served. The first 60 days of a divorce often set the tone of the entire case, and the financial decisions you make in that window tend to be hardest to undo. A certified financial divorce analyst or a financial advisor that is focused on divorce, who knows your full picture, can help you avoid early mistakes that no settlement can later repair. Another question is, isn't this what my divorce attorney is for? A good divorce attorney is essential, but their job is to apply the law to your facts. They are not generally trained to model out 20 years of tax impact of a particular asset split, to project retirement cash flows under different settlement scenarios, or to compare the long-term value of two settlement offers. A certified divorce financial analyst and an attorney working together produce a stronger outcome than either one working alone. So now, the next question I usually get is, I am the less moneyed spouse. Can I still afford this kind of planning? So in many cases, yes. New York law allows for the more moneyed spouse to be ordered to contribute to the less moneyed spouse, counsel and expert witness fees, including financial experts. Even where that order is not in place, the cost of a professional planning is almost always smaller and small relative to the size of the settlement at stake. And the alternative, accepting a settlement you don't fully understand, is usually far more expensive. Another question is the following: what if my spouse and I want to keep things amicable? This is a worthy goal, and it does not change the financial planning calculus. An amicable divorce can still result in a structurally bad financial outcome if neither party fully understands the long-term implications of the agreement. Bringing a certified divorce financial analyst or a financial planner who's focused on divorce into a collaborative or mediated divorce often makes the process smoother, because both parties feel more confident that the math has been done. My name is Fabian Degen. I'm the founder of FMD Wealth Advisors. This was my weekly podcast. If you would like to book a meeting with me, please click on the link in the show notes. We are open for business. Thank you very much. See you next week.